first I ever heard was a tape, and amazing. Owen just smoothed it all out, really. It still had that rawness, but that kind of professional touch to it as well.
It's really about the fucking guitars at the end of the day, you know, not just because I play them, you know, because that's what it's about. Well, I remember him phoning up Marcus and saying, there's one song here, it's got 17 guitar solos on it, all going on at the same time. And Marcus was phoning me going, which one of these is the one? I was fucking all of them. What's all about, man? I'm all in.
If there was a point in the track where, like, it wasn't happening or something of interest had to come in, there was always a fucking guitar there that would do the job. Rock and Roll Star, because the multi-track was full of fucking guitars, I just randomly wiped like 6 fucking tracks to have tracks to record vocals on. And you don't fucking miss them, you know, they're fucking gone, you know. I didn't know if they were any good or not, you know, but it was like, keep the lead guitar solo. And it's all just no twiddling away, you know. Mastering it, I was the first person to make CDs be fucking on the red line constantly. There are no dynamics, there are no, like, it's just full on all the fucking way. And it was fucking great, it worked in fucking jukeboxes around the country, man, for that first fucking year. Oasis came on louder than everybody else.
I don't particularly like Shake and Maker as a song. It's not something I look forward to playing when we do play it. It doesn't mean anything. At that time, it was fucking brilliant. Don't ask me why.
It's 12-bar blues, isn't it? But 12-bar blues like nobody else can pull it off.
It sounds like when you hear Supersonic and that together, and they were the first 2 singles, that, oh, hang on a minute, it's some lunatic who's just writing random nonsense about plasticine and fucking, you know, traffic lights and, you know, My Friend Mr. Soft and all that. And most of that stuff about traffic lights and My Friend Mr. Soft are all from adverts. You know, it's just whatever was on the telly. I've been driving in my car with my friend Mr. Soft. Mr. Soft is, it was in an advert, and it's a song by Cockney Rebel. And it was in an advert for Soft Mints. I remember the guitar solo bit and Bonehead saying, well, when he gets that bit, you've got to be going, and he's like, you're fucking having a laugh, aren't you? And I was like, absolutely.
Shake and Make It to me just reminds me of the Coca-Cola song, because obviously that's the version they always used to sing, and then when the album came out they couldn't. I think the people who wrote I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing said, no, you can't use it, and then the album sold over many million, and I think they've been gutted ever since.
The sheer gall, even of, you know, ripping off the Coca-Cola song.
Remember Noel first playing it, it's like, joking, are you? Really? It's like, you can't do that. It's like, yeah, I can. You know, and we all got in the room and played it. It's like, can't you just? Yeah, it's just taking the piss, isn't it?
There was no thought of getting a record deal. You know, it was just songs to play when we were doing the boardwalk on a Tuesday night, which is probably why it sounds so free and easy, do you know what I mean? It just flows, you know, all the chords just flow out of each other. I was writing about things that were true to me, and it's about shagging, drinking and taking drugs.
I think he had 50 songs when he met me, and he used to lie, and he used to tell me that he'd just written one on the train. And I think the guy had been writing for about 5 years before he met me, and he had about 50 songs, and he had the first 2 albums.
I haven't seen your face round since I was a kid. You're bringing back those memories of the things that we did.
He worked in for Gasboard, I think, and he worked in like where they went for parts, and he would dishing bits out and signing things in and out and that. And he used to have his guitar in there, and he said he used to just write songs while they were in there. So I reckon he had a lot of songs wrote.
I wrote a lot of songs. But when I had a lot of time on my hands, I was on the dole, you know. There's fuck all to do apart from write songs, you know. So I wrote the first 3 albums in one go, really, and the best songs were on the first album. Then the second album was like the ones that maybe weren't as good but worked on a little bit and got them a little bit better, and wrote a couple of new ones. And the third ones, Be Here Now, was all the ones that were left over from all that.
Well, Noel's songwriting, you know, I thought it's pretty original and special. You know, he's very talented.
In no way, I think, is he, certainly on this record, is he attempting to conceal where, you know, the sources of his inspiration. It's quite transparent. There's precious few other people in the modern rock and roll age who are as honest in that sense as Noel was, and one of the few others was Kurt Cobain from Nirvana, because that's exactly how he did it as well. He was transparent sometimes about lifting bits, sometimes wholesale from other songs.
I think he's had a real hard time on that, because the same finger could be pointed at, you know, dozens of other bands and songwriters. The difference is they're not successful, and Noel is.
Well, what's he done? He's nicked things off of other people who in turn nicked them off some black fellas in the 50s, 40s and 30s. You know what I mean? Where does rock and roll start and where does it end? So to accuse him of thieving bits of records that were recorded in the 70s is absurd, because they came from elsewhere anyway.
You could probably take the most original bands of their time, and, you know, they're only playing what they've heard in their record collections. All right, they might have a more eclectic record collection than you had, but my record collection consisted of the Beatles, the Stones, T-Rex, David Bowie, and lots of great hits.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can hear the influences, I think, of Oasis in their records, but at the same time, most importantly, they make it sound like it's theirs.
But he's never been wanting to shy away from it, Noel, has he? People say, oh, but it's T-Rex, you can't do that. Of course it is. And I did it. And I turned it into that, you know, and it's, you know, Shaker Maker. Well, it's 12-bar blues, and it's I'd like to teach the world to sing and buy him a Coke and have a, yeah, and? You know, well, you write it, mate. You try it. Keep doing it, because, you know, it takes a genius to do it, doesn't it?
If my sole job in the band was to come up with guitar riffs, I wouldn't be in a fucking band, you know. There's too much gone, you know. My thing is writing a song, and once you've written the song, nobody can argue with you, you know, no matter what you put on it. If I play a riff, it's like the on Supersonic, there's the guitar solo, everyone's going, yeah, well, that's just the riff off My Sweet Lord. Fitted my song, and I didn't sit there and listen to My Sweet Lord and go, I'm going to have that riff. It's like, that just came to me, you know. And, all right, so it sounds a bit like My Sweet Lord, but, you know, fucking arse. You've got enough money anyway.
He stole it anyway, didn't he?
Didn't he?
Didn't he get sued for that?
I'm going to fucking sue him.
Noel's like an amazing writer, but then on top you've got this kind of like really unusual singer. Do you know what I mean? You know, and well, you get an unusual human being as well, right? But I mean, it's like this really unusual singer that interprets Noel's songs.
I bring a bit of passion, and I bring a bit of belief, and I bring a bit of fucking power, and a bit of you know, bit of attitude, and a bit of honesty.
For me, personally, it's Liam's voice. That's the Oasis sound. You know, anyone can, you know, not anyone can write them songs, but anyone can crank up the guitars and sound like, wow, you sound big. But without the right voice behind you, then you're not going to sound that big.
He's one of the rock voices of the last sort of 10, 20 years. Instantly recognisable.
I don't think I can sing, you know what I mean? I just sort of you know, shout, but in kind of tune.
He doesn't even think about it. He just does sing. If you tell him to sing that, he sings that.
Every time I sing a song, it's like, fucking, you know, this could be the last song that I ever fucking sing, so let's have it, you know. I just like singing songs.
It was very characteristic and distinctive from the first time I heard him sing, but certainly as the band got more recognition and more fans, he felt more comfortable about going his own way and with his own vocal style.
We were doing a radio session up in Manchester, and we were doing Cigarettes and Alcohol. It went out live on the radio, I think, and he done the sunshine bit for the first time. And it seemed like within seconds, McGee was on the phone, and he went, "Where did the sunshine bit come from?" And I went, "I don't know." He went, "Tell me, keep it. It's fucking great."
With me, Liam's always been a real deal. He's always walked like that. He's always had this cool haircut. He's basically always believes in himself, and you know, had that confidence. And that confidence, people who've got that confidence, it rubs off on other people.
I always felt like a star, whether it was rock and roll or not. But it just so happens, like, you know, I got in a band and stuff like that. But
From the first time that we started working with him, we were like that. He's defo got it, you know what I mean? Even if he didn't sing like fucking Pavarotti's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Liam's voice is super strong, man. You know, it's like a cross between Lennon and Rotten with his own little twist on it. And yeah, he's a really great singer. Looks really good. Dresses smart. The only problem I've got is his football team who is shit. But there you go.
I just got in that morning and being out, and there was the chair. I was looking at it going, "That's fucking well, I've got to spend the rest of my fucking day up there, still pissed."
Maybe I don't really want to know how your garden grows, 'cause I just want to fly.
After Supersonic and Shaker Maker, it was the one where people went, "Actually, there's fucking something here, you can't argue with that."
It's actually one of my favourites, actually. I don't know what it means to me.
It's just a classic, massive song.
Maybe I just want to breathe. Maybe I just don't believe.
When McGee heard it for the first time, he just went, you know, people were knocked out. And I knew it was a great song from the minute I wrote it. I wrote it in my flat in India House, and it took me pretty much the length of the fucking song to write, and it came very, very quickly.
Live Forever's the most famous track, and to use an industry well-worn term, it's probably the most crossover track on the album.
And it makes me feel quite proud when you see these lists of 500 greatest songs of all time, or the 1,000 greatest songs of all time, and it's always in there. It's always in the top 10.
Maybe I just want to fly, want to live but don't want to die. Maybe I just want to breathe.
Came up with the idea and put it round the band. Nobody would do it, and I said, right, I'll get stuck in. I don't mind. I don't think it was planned for me.
No, but it's funny looking back on it now.
Yeah, how things have panned out. Yeah.
He had to go when he had to go, because he could never have made the second record. But for definitely maybe, you know, the job was his.
It's not the best drum in the world, and we know that. But it just lent itself to them songs.
I do feel sorry for him in a way, but at the end of the day, he's Tony Mikado, ex of Oasis, and not a lot of people will be able to say that.
I wouldn't write a song like Cigarettes and Alcohol now, because I think, well, you can't be ripping off T-Rex, man. It's fucking bang out of order, you know. Whereas then it was like, well, no one's ever going to fucking hear it anyway.
Yeah,
What, like 20 people at the boardwalk, you know?
There was
gonna
no
go,
prejudice in the writing at all, was there, that song?
No.
Is it my imagination, or have I finally found something worth living for?
Alan McGee went mental for that when he heard it. He was just going, that is the best social comment anybody's made in 20 years of music.
Just personified what a lot of kids were feeling and thinking at that time.
It was quite a powerful statement at the times, you know, because England was in the fucking toilet, man. It was a horrible place to be.
Oasis summed up the spirit of the times, the sense that things had been crap for a very long time and that things were about to get better.